everybody. So today we are going to learn how to calculate the ejection fraction in the newborn. Ejection fraction is a parameter which is used to calculate assess the systolic function of the heart. So first of all, we will acquire a good apical 4-chamber view. This is our probe position. That probe should be beneath the nipple, and this is how a good 4-chamber view I am seeing it here. So if you can just 1 minute. Okay, so if there is light reflection is coming which will spoil our video, so if we will keep it parallel and we will keep it like this, so a good 4-chamber view is coming, we can understand that. And now what I will do is I will first freeze the image. Okay, so I will freeze the image. Now I have frozen the image. If you can put your screen on the freeze image point. So I have clicked this button and I have frozen the image. Now I go to my second button, and the second button is the calculator button, this button. So I click on calculation, and as I click on calculation, you can see that these are the parameters which I have erected. The first parameter is the EF, ejection fraction. So I select ejection fraction, and then you can see that as this ejection fraction we have to calculate in 2 frames. The first is the apical 4-chamber view, second is the apical 2-chamber view. When you come to this column, LV volume ejection fraction, the first is apical 4-chamber diastole. So I have to find out a frame in which it is at the end of the diastole. So how to do that? What I will do is, so whenever I freeze any image, so few last 5-6 frames have been freezed. So I will try to find the frame at the end of the diastole. As I am moving this image, if you can see, as I am moving this image, you can see that there are 2 places. Okay, so this is the place at the end of systole. Imagine both at the end of systole, at the end of diastole, the mitral valve should be closed. So this is end of systole and this is end of diastole. So I have acquired this image at the end of diastole, ensured that the endocardial lining can be smoothly traced. Now the next step is, this thing is at A4CD. I will put on the select button, this select button. So once I click on select button, this diamond cursor it appears. So I will bring the cursor at the medial end of the mitral valve. I will again press on the select button. Once I press on the select button, now I can trace it, as you can see. So my job is to trace the endocardial border. I am tracing the endocardial border to the best of my precision. So I am tracing it. Now once I have reached second end, I don't need to trace the border beyond the mitral valve. What I will do is, I will again press on the select button. As soon as I press on the select button, you can see that a line appears, and this time. So it has calculated the area. If you see down, it has calculated the area as 2.82 centimeters square by dividing this ventricle into the disc, and calculated volume as 2.52 ml. So the LVEDD, left ventricular and diastolic volume, is 2.52 ml. I click on this save button. Now this has been saved. Okay, now once this has been saved, now I will go to the second option, which is the apical 4 systolic. Then I will again press the select button. As soon as I press the select button, you will see that the lines which have filled, they have gone. Now I have to bring my frame which is at the end of systole. So I will again go to this gain button. By rotating this gain knob, this thing will change. So I am rotating it, and you can see that. Okay. So this is at the end of systole. You can see that ventricles are smaller and both the mitral valve, they are closed. Now what I will do is, I will again put it here, press on the select button, and now I will trace the endocardium at the end of the systole. So again, I will not go beneath the mitral valve. Once I press on the select button again, you can see that this area has been demarcated, and it has given a calculation of 1.20 centimeters square. The volume calculated is 0.67 ml. This is the save button. I press on the save button, and immediately you can see that here the ejection fraction has been calculated as 73%. Okay, so from apical 4 chamber view, the machine has calculated this ejection fraction of 73%. Now we go to the apical 2 chamber view. So now my next job is to find apical 2 chamber view. Now right now my focus is on 4 chamber view, and this is my probe position. So for 2 chamber view, I am going to rotate my probe in this direction. So I think this I will go with. This is more or less a 1 chamber view, but I can go with this one because endocardium is directly visible, and I will freeze it. Now after freezing it, I will find this is mostly systole and this is my diastole. Okay, so let's start with diastole. So if I go to the calculations button again, ejection fraction, now I am writing A to CD, means apical 2 chamber view measurement in the diastole. So I click on the select button. Once I click on select button, you can see that the diamond cursor has appeared. Let me find out the frame at the end of the diastole. Systole, this is at the end of systole, and this is at the end of diastole. So I will start from here, press again on the select button, and then try to trace my endocardium. Again I will come to the other side of the mitral valve. I will not go beyond this. I will select on the set button, and as soon as I select on the set button, this will encircle, and it has divided into disc, and it has calculated the space as 2.68 centimeters square, or the volume is 2.94 volume. I save it pressing on the click button. Now it's saved. Now I will bring it to the apical 2 chamber systolic. I will press on the down button and A to CS. Now I will again press the select button. You can see on pressing the select button, the disc have gone and this cursor is there. I will bring this cursor to the end of the myocardium. Now with the help of the gain button, I will go few frames back to find the end of systole frame. So this is my end of systole frame. So I will start tracing from the one side of the endocardium. Oh no, this is not right. I will delete it. Just hold it like this. Yeah. So I will select and I will start tracing it. Start tracing it, tracing the endocardium. And I will come to this point, and then I will go to the set button. Once I go to the set button, you can see that it has been circulated and the area has been calculated 1.68 centimeters square. Based on that area, 1.5 ml is the volume. I press on save button and it has calculated ejection fraction as 65%. So from 4 chamber it was 73, from 2 chamber it is 65. We need to do the mean of both, and that will give us a very good ejection fraction. So ejection fraction is considered the gold standard for calculating the systolic function of the heart in adults, and we can do it in the same manner. Just two key points. One is acquire good views, whether it's 4 chamber or 2 chamber, and second is your endocardium should be clearly visible and try to trace the endocardium. Third is do not trace beneath the mitral valve. Let the line connect on its own. Thank you very much and happy new scanning.